Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, actually, I have to say. Welcome in this session, those of you here that are here in the room and those that are connected with us from around the globe. It's a great pleasure to be here and also to be able to reflect on the collaboration that the GAATO, the Global Alliance of Assistive Technology Organizations, was actually proposing this session, has agreed with the Zero project. We're very happy about this collaboration. It's the first time that we're here, also because we're a very young organization, but we suppose that it's not the last one. Can I have my slides, please? Do I have to put them up or? Oh, no, they're good. Okay, perfect, thank you. So my name is Evert-Jan Hoogerwerf, and I'm the Secretary General of GAATO. And today we're going to talk about an issue which is extremely relevant in assistive technology, and that is about innovation. Actually, the field of assistive technology has never been, let's say, slowed down. Innovation is a continuously keyword, buzzword in our sector. But today we're going to look into a couple of examples of colleagues working in companies or organizations that are actually bringing new technologies into the sector. But before I'm handing over to them, and I would like to tell you a little bit more about GAATO. I'll try to be very, very brief. So what is GAATO? GAATO is actually an alliance of organizations working in the field of assistive technology, but they are not just, let's say, companies or institutions. We are an alliance, an association of membership organizations, of professionals working worldwide in assistive technology. And why is GAATO so important? Well, we believe that there's a role for GAATO because there's still a lot of people in the world that do not have access to assistive technology. And that is something that we have to try to change. We have to try to change together. So, as mentioned, our members are not so much individuals, but there are all membership organizations working across the globe in, or from different parts of the globe, I have to say, working in assistive technology or rehabilitation engineering. So we have, for example, AAATE from Europe. We have North American organizations like RESNA and AIAS, but also organizations from Argentina, AATA, from India, the Indian Assistive Technology Association, Japan, Korea, AIAS from Australia. As you can see, we are a global network. So our mission is to advance the field of assistive technology and to make sure that actually all people in the world can get access to AT. And we do that by sharing knowledge, exchange, by developing initiatives that are more related to research or the development of the agenda in assistive technology. And we do a lot of network organizations like with the World Health Organization, like the Zero Project, and other global stakeholders. And we also are present at conferences, like for example this one, but next one will be the ICCHP AAAT conference, and we organize our webinars ourselves. We further have been engaged in a global consultation on assistive technology outcomes and impact that has seen the participation of more than 400 professionals and other experts, also end users and companies and service providers, reflecting on what are the most significant lack of gaps in knowledge related to AT outcomes and impact. And that report will be presented shortly towards May, together with the global report on assistive technology of the World Health Organization and UNICEF. So we're very happy to be here today. We're very happy to collaborate with the Zero Project, and we're very happy with your presence here in this session. The program for today is that Luc de Witte, the president of GAATO, will give a brief introduction on innovation in assistive technology. So where sort of a forward-looking presentation of where we're going, what can we expect next in terms of development of innovation in AT. And then we have 4 colleagues that will each of them present an innovative product or solution for the benefit of people with disabilities. So I hand over now to Luc for his introductory talk.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I also would like to have my slides on. They will come. My name is indeed Luc de Witte. In my everyday life, I'm working as a professor at the university, the Hague University of Applied Sciences, and until recently at the University of Sheffield in the UK, in the field of assistive technology. We live in a very strange world, a world full of contrasts and contradictions, and one of these contrasts relates to assistive technology. As Evert-Jan and many others today have said, there's a huge need for assistive technology and many people don't have access. And on the other hand, we have enormous developments in all kinds of technology fields. And these developments are going so fast that it's almost impossible to keep track of them. What I want to talk to you about is very briefly a study that I was involved in, basically done by the World Intellectual Property Organizations together with colleagues from the University of Sheffield. And we wanted to get a view on what are these technology developments actually that may impact the field of assistive technology. Not to understand everything, but to get a feeling of what's happening and how we might be able to direct that in such a direction that we have the maximum impact. I have to be very brief, but I'll give you a small overview. It's clear that technology is developing extremely rapidly, and this is very well, you can read this in a very interesting report. It's a heavy report published by the World Intellectual Property Organization last year. And this talk is basically a stimulus to read that report, because it's really fascinating what you'll find there. It's based on an analysis of about 3.7 million patents that are filed in a number of technology areas. And if you read that, you will see that the potential of these technologies for the field of assistive technology are enormous, beyond your imagination. The work we did was quite complex. I'm not going to talk about all the methodology, but it was a very interesting process in which we looked at what's happening in a number of established assistive technology fields, what kind of patents are being filed there, and what is happening in a number of emerging technology areas, like artificial intelligence, robotics. And from these two sides, we analyzed all these patents to identify where are the opportunities and what are people working on worldwide. If you look at the results, it is very obvious that artificial intelligence is one of these main areas. A lot is happening there, and in connection to that, new human-computer interactions, direct brain interfaces, speech analysis, all kinds of ways to interact with technology are developing. A lot is happening in sensor technologies. They become smarter, smaller energy, less energy consumption, etc. A huge field is robotics. Not surprisingly. There are huge advances in connectivity. Everything can talk with everything. Internet of Things, virtual reality, augmented reality, all these things are developing very rapidly. Manufacturing, additive manufacturing, 3D printing, but also all kinds of combinations of materials. That's what you see a lot of activity in. And finally, new materials, all kinds of new, stronger, lighter, smart materials. These are the most important areas that we identified. In these areas, we have looked at 3.7 million patents, and we looked at which of these patents mention assistive technology as a possible application area, and that is only a very small percentage. It's only 0.3%, but that's still 11,000 serious patents. And if you look at those T11,000, then it's very much about machine vision, about wireless connectivity, connecting all kinds of devices. Robotics is, of course, a huge area. Sensor technologies and speech to text, just examples, but these are the main categories. And interestingly, they are mainly the biggest categories of the biggest application areas people are looking at is very smart new hearing aids, all kinds of solutions for vision problems, and mobility. These are the three main categories. But there's also, of course, a huge amount of more things. Impressive growth reports. There's also interesting figures how fast do these fields develop. In some areas, we found 190% growth every year, on average over a period of 5 years. So that means that it's almost like a COVID pandemic. Tomorrow we have twice as many as today. Very brief overview. If you look at what you see here, then we say, well, developments are absolutely impressive. Only a fraction is specifically looking at assistive technology. But if you see these growing numbers and you think a little bit creatively on what you find in these patents, the potential application field in assistive technology is far more than these 11,000. Interestingly, especially the combinations of all these emerging technologies, that's where the most interesting innovations take place. They facilitate each other. And a very fast growing area is, let's say, implants, technology that are partly in and partly out the body, or totally inside the body. That's an area that we normally don't consider to be assistive technology, but you see a lot happening there. There is one very big concern when I look at this, all these developments. They are all very high-end, very fancy projects, fantastic products, but in a way they might strengthen the discrepancies that I started with. How can we make sure that these things become available? And that is also the reason why I was happy to be involved in this study, because that was, for me, the motivation. To understand how we can direct these developments in such a way that indeed the people who need it do profit from it, and we don't end up with products that are only available to the 10% that already have access to everything. Well, that was a kind of critical note, but my main message is there is a huge potential there. If you look at what's possible, you can go, you can make anything you like. And I would like to stimulate you to try and do that. And I think the colleagues who will speak after me will give some beautiful examples of what can be done. So let's listen to them. Thanks.
Thank you, Luc. Thank you for your presentation. And I think there are two interesting themes emerging. One, probably we don't have time to discuss it today, but it would be very interesting because it raises a lot of ethical issues, that of the, let's say, building technology into human bodies. And the other one is related to your concern on how do you make sure that everybody can actually have access to those innovative solutions. And partly that will be done by the market forces, probably, making things cheaper. But it's a serious concern, so thank you for that. And if there's still time, if you don't mind, I'll take questions completely at the end of the session, so we are sure that we do not run into trouble with time. Okay, so over to our four speakers of this afternoon. I'll start with Claudiu Leverenz from Munevo. And they've been working on wheelchair control via smart glasses. So that's very interesting. And over to you, Claudiu.
Thank you very much, Evert. I'm so happy to be here. It's really nice to see people face to face again. And I would like to start with a short introduction about what we do at Munevo. There we go. So just quickly what we're doing, and I think just wanted to show this picture also at the beginning because this is what Munevo is all about. We're helping people with technology, repurposing technology. We were founded in 2018, spin out of the Technical University of Munich. And right now we're trying to get this solution to as many people as possible. The solution, as already mentioned, is a we basically repurposed smart glasses that have been around in the consumer space, have been then like integrated into industry case scenarios, and we finally found like a really good purpose for them. So it is specifically designed for people that suffer from muscular diseases such as ALS or spinal cord injuries, and that cannot use also their hands anymore and not able to control their wheelchair in a normal way. So also the goal of today for me is to basically reach out to you and to get connected. We're still at a very early stage. We just heard about the connectivity challenges. We've heard also about the funding challenges. And this is where I want to reach out to you and get connected to us, because we really want to give this to everyone around the world. We just got FDA approval for this. It's a medical device class 1, and it's getting 100% reimbursed in a couple of European countries, but we don't want to stop here. We want to go really global. Also, we're available in Austria. We have a distributor here, but like we only have 2 users right now that are using it here. So if you are here from Austria, please reach out to me. Just as I mentioned before, these are the current solutions out there that you need to use, and you see that they're all mechanical solutions. During 2018, I met Dirk, one of our users. He is diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. He was traveling the world before, but right now he has to depend on these kinds of solutions. And those solutions cannot be adapted very easily. So you always have to depend on other people. And you as a user have to adapt to the solution and vice versa, and that's not the right goal here, or that's not the right journey. So we proposed this new all-in-one solution that is based on smart glasses. We use the sensors inside the smart glasses to track different head motions. And through those head motions, the user can control the wheelchair hands-free. The benefit, which I'll go into a second, is that it's very much adapting to your needs and not the other way around. And we can basically also connect to a wheelchair quite easily within 5 minutes through a self-developed adapter. The connection is via Bluetooth, but it's a secured connection, so nobody can hack into it or do some crazy things with it. We really focus a lot on safety and security. The nice thing about the solution is also that it gives the user constant feedback. So we're using the display in the glasses, we're using the audio feature of the glasses that are existing. So through this audio-visual feedback system, really the users understand it quite easily, and we had very good results in our study in 2018. Like I already mentioned, the solution is already reimbursed in multiple countries. We have over 150 users already equipped with this, and they're all super happy, and that's what motivates us to learn from them and to continue to develop the solution with a much broader spectrum, which I will tell you in a minute. So again, for the patient, the benefits are quite obvious, but I really want to emphasize on the calibration features that are in the glasses. So it takes around 15 to 20 seconds, and the user can adapt the solution according to his or her needs, depending also on like the daily situation. So if you wake up, you still feel kind of like sleepy, so you can still calibrate it according to what movements you have, and then later on you can recalibrate it how much or how often you need. And it's very comfortable. It's just like a glass that you can wear. We can integrate it also with glass wearers, so it's just a thing that we then clip on the side of the glass. And we're using all the features that are inside there. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and connectivity is something that you already mentioned, and it's super important for us. And we can extend it to other devices, and I'll go into detail more later. But there are even more advantages. So we didn't even think only about the user. It is at our focus all the time, but there are much more stakeholders involved as well. There's the distributor, the insurance companies, the therapists. And the benefits here is just that it's really a simple solution that can be plug and played into any type of power wheelchair. And we provide extensive support through our remote maintenance platform, which means that as soon as we install a solution on a wheelchair, it can also be connected to your local Wi-Fi, and by that allowing us to remotely update or fix any issues that arise, or if there are any issues. And it's digital, so it's the first digital solution, which means that there are no mechanical repairs anymore, and that is also a cost-saving potential for healthcare systems. And we also offer rent-based models, which are mostly dependent on the healthcare system, so this is something that we still have to look into, and it's one of the challenges that we're still facing. And this is where we continue to think further. We worked with different users from the beginning, with Dirk, with Alika, our youngest user, who is 8 years old, and you saw in the first picture. And we developed a platform, really, a platform that can not only connect to the wheelchair, but already now connects to your phone, and you can control your phone, make phone calls. You can connect it to your computer and use it as a mouse control, so also Windows, Apple, all of the platforms are supported. We even connected it to a robotic arm, so allowing people to grab a cup of tea or coffee and drink, or push the button of an elevator. All things that we take for granted are very important for these people. And we went even one step further and connected to the whole environmental control system, so talking about smart home, turning on the lights, the TV, and things like that. And we're still continuing to develop more features. Voice control is something that is coming out pretty soon, which we're very proud of because it gives the user more usability, more flexibility also. And I'm basically already at the end, so I just want to put out the contact details here and remind you about our call to action that I mentioned at the beginning. So we really would like to get in touch with everyone that is in this space and that can help us to get this solution to much more people out there. And with that, I'm at the end.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Claudiu. It's an amazing, amazing new technologies are brought together here into a unique solution. And that's actually quite illustrative for what's happening in assistive technology, that more and more we're not talking about single devices or whatever. Actually, it's already going on for quite a while, but about very complex systems based on the integration of different technologies, which also makes it very difficult for funding agencies or for reimbursement to classify this kind of solution. So I can imagine that's a big challenge for you and how to get that across public healthcare systems and get it on the list of fundable devices or solutions. Thank you. We pass now on to David Hofer from a company which is based here in Austria, Lifetool. And David is going to talk us about a powered wheelchair simulator. David?
Thank you, Evert-Jan. Hello to everyone. And Claudiu, I'm just happy that I follow you because you have invented something to control the wheelchair, and we have developed something. And can I have my slides, please, by the way? Thank you. Something that is related to the safety of driving a wheelchair. So what we have learned here in Austria is that 1,800 accidents happens every year, not with only powered wheelchair, but with wheelchairs. And a good handling, as you know, is important of an electronic wheelchair. And together with users, especially at the beginning when you receive a wheelchair or maybe your solution, a little training in a safe environment, which could be virtual, would be a benefit, I think. And maybe we didn't talk before, right? So maybe right here live we start to connect. And yes. The next slide, the goals of this virtual simulation of WheelSim is to provide a safe training in a virtual world, so you can use a virtual glass or virtual glasses, and the handling of a wheelchair, as I've mentioned, all rides are safe in a safe environment. And it offers a quite realistic experience and a deeper immersion to the virtual world compared to an on-screen or just a screen, two-dimensional screen. The target group of WheelSim VR are people who need a powered wheelchair for their mobility, who receive a powered wheelchair or who are about to receive a powered wheelchair or just received one. I have one colleague sitting here from Digital Assistive Europe, and he knows that I broke my heels 2 years ago on a stupid jump. So in the middle of this project developing WheelSim VR, I had the situation that I needed a wheelchair because I could not walk with both broken heels, and it was important to bring in the view also from my side, because it was not so easy driving an electronic wheelchair, and especially a quick one, a fast one. So it's also developed for therapists and rehab technicians who provide the wheelchair and who would like to see if a person is able to run a wheelchair. And you have also mentioned funding, insurance companies, and so on. I think it would be nice, you know, if they know that you are able to run to and you're safe with it. Practicing, or what you can practice with WheelSim is you can drive in a protected space, in a flat, in the city, on the pavement. You can observe pedestrians, you can cross streets, you can improve your skills by driving on 4 different routes. There are videos on the most important behavior in road traffic included, and all texts are in easy reading, so they are very easy to understand for everyone. We have co-designed WheelSim together, with people who are using it, and I would like to show you a short video without words how it works. And I don't know how to start the video. Thank you very much. Oops, I'm going back. So it's not only virtual glasses, because it wouldn't fit with the smart glasses, maybe, of yours, but there's also a Windows application, so you can train it on the computer. It's available already since a couple of weeks, so you can download it and and test it for 7 days. And there are 2 versions, one for professionals who can track everything, and one for home users. And last but not least, thank you to Andreas, who has been the actor for this video. He's running the electronic wheelchair quite professional now. Thank you for your time, and we keep in touch, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. That's really a fantastic example of how, I mean, innovation is also driven by actual needs of clinicians or professionals in AT centers that have to do that work in trying to understand whether a person is able to drive an electronic wheelchair or not in all safety. So thank you very much. Great. Over to Zacharias Vamvakousis from Eyeharp, and he's going to talk us about the use of musical instruments with, what was it again, with eye and head control. Over to you.
Okay. So, I'm going to talk about the Eyeharp. That comes from the word eye and harp. So it's a musical instrument that can be played through eye or head movements. But first, a bit of background. So I have studied informatics. I'm a programmer and I'm a musician. And I have a master in music technology, but also a PhD in digital musical instruments for people with disability, where the Eyeharp was born at the University Pompeu Fabra. It all started in 2008 when a friend of mine had a motor accident with a spinal cord injury. We were playing music together. He's still a professional musician. And in the beginning, it was not clear whether he would be able to move his arms again. And that's where the idea was born that a new musical instrument should be implemented for people that cannot play with conventional ways, with their hands. So the mission is to make music playing accessible to everyone. And not everyone has access to playing music, especially people with quadriplegia, because there are no available musical instruments for them, when about 20% or more of the population in Europe plays a musical instrument. And having access to playing music is very important, because it has been found that the people that play music have improved language abilities, increased emotional resilience, increased empathy, increased focus, increased self-confidence, and reduced stress, anxiety, and depression. So, the Eyeharp is a software that runs on computers, and soon it will also be available in iPads. It needs an eye tracker, which is a special camera that goes underneath the screen. It comes with, so the notes are placed in the perimeter of a circle. The number of the note, the size can be configured, can be modified. And it also comes with music teaching tools. So the students from the very first class that can play melodies just by following a target, a circle on the screen, and memorize melodies. So it adapts to the needs of people with and without cognitive disabilities. So next we're going to watch a video of, so now we're going to watch a video of 8 examples of people performing with the Eyeharp. Some of them are musicians that at some point in their lives they lost their mobility. Others are students of mine. 4 of them with cerebral palsy and 4 more with neurodegenerative diseases. first class. So how someone can acquire the Eyeharp? It's a software. You need a Tobii eye tracker or a tablet, a computer running Windows 10, and you can download it online. And our business model is freemium with subscriptions. So there is a free version, and some premium features are to be bought. So everybody has 1 month trial period of the full version, and then there are options of monthly, yearly subscription, as well as lifetime purchases. Other source of income that the Eyeharp Association has is organizing training seminars. It's very important to train music teachers and music therapists, because we cannot be the only one. If we want to grow, we cannot be the only one teaching music with it. And we participate and organize concerts, and this is what motivates our students to study, and this is what gives them the most joy out of this, because this is inclusion, so they express themselves in live concerts. You just watched 3 of them, I think. And of course, we are giving online music classes. So right now I personally have 10 students, 5 of them in Spain, and 2 in Greece, and the rest in the Netherlands. So we can reach everywhere, and the technology allows this, because the audio latency is now low due to special programs. So the Eyeharp, the software has been available for 1 year now, and we currently have around 60 paying subscribers and more than 600 users of the free version. We need around 1,000 to have sustainability, and we need to grow, and events like this might help. Thank you for having us here. So that's all about the Eyeharp. This is our website, eyeharp.org, where you can also reach us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zacharias. Amazing. It's amazing that also because it illustrates so well that assistive technology is really not only about compensating for impairments. It's really a game changer in people's lives, opening up unimaginable opportunities for people. So thank you very much for contributing to that mission. Okay, our last speaker is from Israel, Moran Ran, and she's going from AT-Visor, and she's going to talk about a digital health platform, which actually opens up a completely new chapter in our discussions today. So over to you, Moran.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here today and meet you all, both physically and virtually. And I'm here to talk to you today about a new way of finding, buying, and using assistive technology. And when I talk about a new way, we know there's huge advancements in our field, so many good options on the table, as we saw today, and we know many more. The next important step is to make those solutions reachable, make people with disabilities aware of their existence. And when we're talking about making technology reach its destination, we're actually talking about several challenges. One of them is creating that desired match between person to technology, so every unique profile will be matched to the technologies that answer the need. We're also talking about making the information and knowledge about assistive technology accessible and updated as much as possible. And we're talking about creating new service delivery models that will provide ongoing support until optimal use. If we can tick all these boxes, we can absolutely reach more assistive technology usage and less assistive technology abandonment that stands today on percentages between 30 to 75% in the first 3 months of use. So when we thought about this challenge, we were thinking about the fact that the time has come to create a digital health platform for the assistive technology space. The platform contains an aggregator of data that collects information about solutions from all domains, all commercial domains, broadening the concept of assistive technology, but making the information updated and accessible is one important thing. The next challenge is what is right for me, what is the solution for me, and for that, the platform has a matchmaking tool, a tool that helps to match between the profile of the client and the assistive technology that he or she needs. So let's say, for example, that I have some kind of a disability connected to the weakness in my hands, a vision impairment, some difficulties related to concentration and memory. What will be the unique solution for my profile? So congratulations, I found the solution for me. Now the next step would be purchasing it. How much does it cost? Who sells it? Is it funded? So many important questions that lead us to the third component, the marketplace, but more importantly, the connection to funding mechanisms. So in the platform, we have possibility to see a product page with prices, information about the product, but also a possibility to see how and how much it is funded. So how does it work? 4 simple steps. We begin by creating a profile. We're starting with the person. What are the difficulties? And more importantly, what are the goals that the person wants to achieve? Okay? Then, once we've chosen the goals and we have the profile, the platform immediately directs the person to, let's say, a personalized marketplace where I can see all the solutions that are connected to my specific goal. It can be eating, drinking, using public transportation, using the web. It can be something small, something big. For every goal, every activity, I can see the solutions in the marketplace that are relevant to me and buy them. This is made possible by the technological advancements or the technological developments by Advisor. We've created automatically generated digital identity card for solutions. Solutions should be matched to people, not the other way around. So we should begin with the person and then match the technology. When we've developed the platform, it was clear to us that we're not only dealing with a very specific standalone B2C digital tool, but we have to be a part of a holistic solution, creating a new service delivery model, and Smart Home Project is a wonderful example for that. Initiated by JDC Israel Unlimited in partnership with Digital Israel, the Ministry of Labor, Social Affairs and Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Education, and authorized by the Ministry of Finance, aiming at the introduction of digital tools for the independence of people with disabilities. And what we've done here, and I've referenced to the AAAT position paper from 2012, we took the service delivery model and combined it with the work of a digital platform. So we have professionals and AT users meeting physically or virtually, assessing the needs, creating a profile, choosing the goals, selecting the AT category, selecting the specific solution, and then buying the product. And this project has been going on for 2 years. We've seen the results. When it's done correctly, the results are not surprising, yet very powerful. We're talking today, currently, we're standing on 4%, only 4% abandonment rate. We've been accompanied by Brookdale Institute researching long-term conduct research about this project, and we hope to show some more results soon. But we're trying to do that win-win-win situation where all stakeholders are enjoying and the world is evolving and changing. So in 2012, the Ministry of Social Affairs will be launching a new digital service to citizens together with Advisor. And the idea is to create a new service for users that will be based on the match between person to technology. Of course, funding mechanisms will also be affected. Every person will have a budget that you will be able to spend on assistive technology. And instead of buying from 4D approved products, now every person will be able to purchase the product from an open market based on the match according to his specific needs and goals. In the long term, we would like to show how digital transformation and data analysis can also affect the market and be the basis for the work of regional assistive technology centers based on the service delivery models shown today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Moran. That is an amazing piece of work, actually, that has gone into that, I suppose, to develop that, and it will be an even bigger task to keep it running.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's a nice example of, let's say, how the market for ATs is getting more mature and also a place for more consumer-driven initiatives in alternative to more, let's say, guided by professionals approaches. So thank you very much for that. It raises a lot of questions for me, but those are maybe my questions. So I'm happy to give the floor to the room now. If there's someone that wants to ask a question to any one of the speakers here today, then you can do that now. We still have 5 minutes. Yes.
Sorry, Edward Winter from World Vision. I had a question around the applicability of that last piece of software where we have much more limited options. So the idea being to help maybe community-based workers to assess the potential potential needs using questionnaires and then creating a profile and then matching them to whatever product might be available possible. So just wanted to know about that. Thanks.
So when we thought about the easiest way to create a profile, I think we found the ICF taxonomy a good building block to build the interface upon. So we have the possibility not to talk through diagnosis or medical models or medical diagnosis that are sometimes not the language that people would like to describe themselves or be tagged upon, but a way to say what are my difficulties, what are the activities that I would like to perform, and the ICF certainly provides us this freedom and creativity. And we saw that given the right training, it can be remote, it can be physical. We see a lot of field workers capable of working with the software, with the profile creation process. And also we've created 2 interfaces in the platform. One is based on natural language, so end users can create independently their profile, and also a platform that uses, the clinical codes for professionals. And there's a lot of flexibility and play between those two ways. So the idea is to provide the service in multiple ways and reaching, much broader scale than today, yet structuring the service, creating it in a structured way.
Thank you, Moran. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Hi, Or Cohen from Israel, Global Ramp. I would ask everyone except Moran. I'm curious, one of the biggest challenges that the assistive technology ecosystem is facing with, is how to make the social impact economical impact. So I'm wondering if any of you cracked it and how, because the challenge of taking something that is very niche and to scale it is something that I think most of us are facing with, especially in countries that don't have a based welfare system. So, to any of you.
Okay, 30 seconds each. Zacharias, you start.
I'm not sure I understood the question very well. So you mean when you say economical impact?
I will make it the most simple. How you make money. How you make money out of something that is, especially like a solution as yours, that is something that is very niche. I'm just thinking about take a solution as yours to a country in Africa, Latin America, in places that the welfare is not that developed as in Europe or in Israel, for example. How you make, because, you know, eventually when you want to make a social impact, you need to get money. You need to get money, you need to get paid. So how you do it?
So one thing that we are trying to do is try to keep the prices as low as possible. So we are non-profit, and also we do organize campaigns to raise money, and in the future we plan to have a program like our funders, our supporters, our Patreons could buy the software for the users. But then the problem is that you need a computer to run the software. So it's really challenging. So we have thought about that. So because they don't have computers.
Thank you, Zacharias. Sorry, I have to cut you off
Yeah,
for time reasons.
that's enough.
David?
We are also a non-profit organization, but we have a for-profit organization underneath our non-profit. So we make money, and it goes back to the non-profit to leverage projects that wouldn't be funded. So it's a non-profit, for-profit approach, and sometimes we can do things that are, you know, in countries you have mentioned, but we are aware of making money to leave it within the ecosystem we have and to make new things.
Thank you, David. Claudiu?
So we're a for-profit company, and it's a hard challenge that you pointed out there. I think in countries such as India, Africa, we face the challenge that the structural environment is missing yet for like even electrical wheelchairs. So India now just managed to get manual wheelchair into the system, so we're depending a bit on that area. But when it comes to like creating the money, I think what we managed to do quite well is to bring all stakeholders to the table, talking to healthcare payers, systems change and all of this. And price is a very important part of that, so we're trying to do that, reducing the price and so on, but it only works with scale. So then you also need to kind of find not only the niche, but also the scale opportunity. And for us, for example, the glasses can also be adapted for elderly people and be used in that kind of direction. So by that, hopefully creating that scale to reduce the price and make an easier entry.
Thank you.
Maybe also more target audience to expand the target audience, as I understand, right? Yeah.
Okay, Moran, one-liners.
I squeezed myself into the question. I'm sorry. I think that what you've mentioned is the direction, connecting the AT industry much more into the open market, the consumer market. More competition, more demand, more purchases, prices go down, more scale. This is what we're looking for. So sorry for squeezing in. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very clear. Luc, last 10 seconds for you.
Well, just add one perspective. I agree that that's one of the directions, but the other is that you have to look at the impact at a different level. The impact is societal, and the business case on a societal level of giving a child who can't speak communication devices is very easy. The return is at least 10 times more than it costs. But that's now how our society is structured. So we have to also think about where do we want to find the return on investment. AT Scale has published a very interesting report about that, where that 1 to 10 return on investment comes from. It's worth looking at.
Thank you, Luc. Session is over. Thanks to everybody, wherever you are connected from in the world. And thank you for those here in the audience. And I enjoy the rest of the conference.